Hey, happy Wednesday.
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday all day long. So I'm filming this intro really quickly because Dan just came home from work. He's eating leftover pork that we had put in the crock pot a couple days ago. He kind of was having a crappy day and, you know, misplaced keys and this and that. So when he has crappy days, he always comes home for lunch. So even if we get to spend like 10 minutes together, we just kind of like make ourselves laugh or...
I almost really electrocuted myself. She didn't know that.
We take the time to like hang out together whenever the heck we can get it. So I wanted to pop in here. We're gonna come back to the electrocution, I hope. But what I'm doing today is actually, Dan doesn't know. I'm doing like keto marathon cooking.
I don't even know what that means. It sounds terrible.
I'm going to make a dessert, but I also have a giant pack of ground hamburger that needs to be cooked because I forgot to put it in the freezer, which is stroganoff meatballs.
Yes.
So that's what I'm going to be doing all day.
In
And
case you guys haven't done it already, drink your water.
so true. I have a bang and a water happening.
Bottoms up.
So do you. All right, well, oh, wait. You got electrocuted.
Yeah, so I was rushing. This carelessness. Should have checked. And almost got electrocuted. Bad.
Almost got electrocuted or like actually got zapped?
Almost. It blew up in my face. But I had insulated cutters and stuff.
Are you okay?
I'm great.
Dan made it, guys.
It was interesting.
Everybody pray that Dan makes safer choices today for the rest of the day at work. We love you. We'll see you later.
Drink your water.
He's back on his way to work, and I just want to take a second to shout out to the spouses of people that have dangerous jobs. Whether it's dangerous every second of every day or just has moments where it can be dangerous, whether that's a first responder or they're in the military or they are physicians or they do electrical or any dangerous job, oil rig, like whatever it is. I just want to send you love because nothing happened to Dan, but he's been injured at work before and has had things happen before, and every time that happens it just always gives me like heart palpitations. I don't know what I would do if anything ever happened to him. So, let's pray for everyone's spouses that they're having the safest day ever. I'm gonna pray for mine. Okay, I'm starting with the dessert. I'm gonna be doing a sugar butter cookie donut. Do you wanna know how I'm going to do that? My keto box this month had a keto flavor pack from OOO Flavors. They're all Christmas flavors, you guys. So I'm going to be flavoring my donut with the sugar butter cookie flavoring. Now, if you don't have these and you don't want to order them, you can really flavor this donut recipe any way you want to. I've done lemon, I've done cinnamon. There's a zillion different ways to do it. I'll just kind of tell you how to make it your own flavor once I go through the recipe, but it's super, super easy. You will need a donut pan, but you also could make these into mini muffins. So let's get cracking. You will need 1 cup of fine almond flour, 1/3 cup of sweetener of your choice, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then any flavoring of your choice, whether that be a lemon extract or a maple extract. You could even add regular lemon juice to it, or cinnamon, cocoa powder. The world's your oyster, but I'm going to be flavoring with this today. OOO Flavors. You also need 1/4 cup of melted butter and 1/4 cup of unsweetened almond milk, 2 large eggs. That's it. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees and go ahead and spray your cooking vessel. I'm using coconut oil. First, the dry ingredients. 1 cup of almond flour, 1/3 cup of sweetener. I'm using Swerve. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And then we're gonna whisk. In a separate small bowl, whisk together all of the wet ingredients. So the almond milk, vanilla extract, your eggs, your flavoring of choice, which for me is going to be 20 drops of this, and then also the melted butter. I'm gonna whisk this together until it's all incorporated, and then I'm going to add it to the dry mixture. Next, I'm going to whisk the wet mixture into the dry mixture. It's still gonna have some lumps. You just want to mix it until there's no dry ingredients left. Okay, once you get it all mixed together and all evidence of dry ingredients is gone, you're gonna evenly fill the donut wells with the batter. I've always just eyeballed it and it's done me fine. Okay, now they go into the oven for about 20 minutes. Okay, the donuts just came out of the oven. Now we're gonna put a little bit of a topping on them. Okay, so hopefully these come out of the pan easily. It's always so scary. There they are. Ooh, don't drop them. Don't drop them, Amanda. Ah. Okay, so I have about 1.5 tablespoons of melted butter here and a couple tablespoons of the regular granular swerve. I'm also gonna add just a tiny bit of the brown sugar swerve. You could do this topping without it. I just have it on hand, so I'm gonna use it. I'm just gonna add a tiny bit and then I'll use a fork just to kind of mix it together. Actually, I'm gonna use my fingers. Don't judge me. Okay, next I am going to take a basting brush, load it with butter, gently brush the tops of the donut with the butter. That's right, generously. Don't be scared of butter. And then I'm just gonna mush it around onto my plate of sweeteners. And there you have it, sugar cookie donut. Super simple. Okay, there you have it. Sugar butter cookie, sugar freaking donuts. I'm so excited. It's gonna be all I can do not to eat all of these before Dan gets home. Whew. Okay, next up is the stroganoff meatballs. I've made these on my channel once before, but I made a half batch and I'm making a big batch today. So instead of showing you all of the ingredients laid out in an effort of saving time, because this is going to be kind of a long video, I'm just gonna show you guys my handwritten recipe and you can screenshot it, or you can go to the original source of this recipe, which is ibreatheimhungry.com. This is an adapted version of that recipe, but that's the first recipe that I followed to make this, and I've just tweaked it to be my own way. So here is the ingredient list. 2 pounds of ground beef, 2 eggs, half a cup of almond flour, 4 tablespoons Parmesan cheese, 2 teaspoons salt, half teaspoon pepper. Do I really have to read all of this out? I think you get the idea. Screenshot it. Okay, so you're gonna start with 2 pounds of ground beef. Add in 2 eggs. A half a cup of almond flour. Then 4 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. 2 teaspoons of salt. Half a teaspoon of black pepper, a teaspoon of garlic powder or onion powder. You really could use any seasoning at this point. I'm actually using a bold steak and chop rub because I am out of garlic powder. So this part you can kind of use your imagination. 2 teaspoons of dried parsley. And then 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. You can be a little more liberal with this if you wish. Okay, next you're gonna stir this whole mixture together. You really should probably use your hands. It would be a lot easier. I've used the food processor before, but it really does dirty up a lot of dishes. So I'm just gonna get in here with my hands and mix it up. Wash those hands, y'all. Once you get it all mixed, you're gonna go ahead and ball these up into uniform meatballs. I usually stick around like a 1-inch meatball. Nothing too big. They're gonna cook down in size a little bit, and it's nice when they're just a little bit bigger than bite-sized. I have a huge plate of meatballs here. This is gonna take about 2 batches to fry them up. So I have a large frying pan on medium-high heat with about a tablespoon of butter and about a tablespoon of olive oil. I am going to fry these up. All right, you don't wanna crowd the pan when you're doing meatballs. You wanna give them enough room to kind of turn them in the pan. So like I said, this is probably gonna be about 2 batches to cook. Okay, after about 5 minutes, go ahead and flip them and brown the other side. They don't need to be cooked all the way through because they're going to simmer in a sauce. So really we're just trying to get them brown on both sides and cooked most of the way through. Okay, once they've cooked for about 5 minutes per side, put them on a plate lined with a paper towel and then cook your second batch. Okay, my second batch of meatballs is just about done cooking. So for the sauce, you'll need 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 cups of diced onion, 3 to 6 cloves of diced garlic. It just depends on how much garlic flavor you want. About 3 cups of broth. I'm gonna use probably a mixture of beef broth and chicken broth because it's what I have on hand. A cup and a half of sour cream, 2 tablespoons of cream cheese, and salt and pepper to taste. All right, now add the diced onion to the meatball leftover cooking grease. I'm gonna cook these onions for about 5 minutes in this grease. Then I'm gonna add the garlic and toss it around until the garlic becomes fragrant. Okay, once the onions have cooked for about 3 to 5 minutes, turn the heat down to medium or a little bit lower than medium and add your garlic. We're gonna go ahead and toss this around just to get the garlic nice and fragrant. And then we're gonna start adding the rest of the ingredients for the sauce. It looks like a lot of onion because it is a lot of onion. If you do not want a super oniony sauce, just half the amount of onion. Okay, now I'm adding in the butter, the cream cheese, and the sour cream. We are basically going to start to whisk these ingredients together until they're melted into the onion mixture. You definitely want to whisk when it comes up to a low simmer like that to really get all of the fats to incorporate together. I'm also now going to add some salt and pepper and some dried parsley, just a little bit of each. This is super hard to cook and film at the same time, so pardon my shakiness. Once this comes up to a simmer, I actually need to turn my heat down a little bit. Once this comes up to a light simmer, just add a splash of your broth at a time. And just keep whisking. All right, I'm gonna add a couple dashes of Worcestershire sauce and whisk. And then I'm gonna add another splash of broth and whisk. So basically you're just gonna keep adding liquid and whisking while this simmers. It sounds like a tedious process, but if you add too much liquid too quickly, it'll break down the sauce and we want it to be nice and creamy. Okay, so that's the last splash of broth I'm going to add. My meatballs had a lot of extra cooking grease. So I only ended up needing about a cup and a half of broth. Like I said, the amount of broth that you need to make the sauce is going to vary greatly, so just don't dump in all of the liquid at once. Now, once this comes back to a simmer, I'm gonna add the meatballs. Okay, so now the heat goes down to low and all of the meatballs get added back in. I'm gonna throw a lid on this and simmer it on low for about 10 minutes. And that's it. Then the meatballs will be cooked all the way through. It's gonna be absolutely delicious. Like I said, this will probably end up being dinner tomorrow. but I'll be thrilled that I have it done. Okay, these are all done. I am going to let them cool off a little bit, and then I'm gonna throw them in Tupperware. Now, your sauce might separate just a little bit, but I assure you, when you heat it up, it'll be exactly the creamy texture that it was while it was cooking. So that's it. Okay, so we just put the kids to bed, and I'm gonna get the meatballs plated up, making a nice big salad to go with it. But before we eat dinner, we're finally gonna try these donuts. I'm really excited because I've heard so many awesome things about OOO Flavors, so I'm stoked. So it's a sugar cookie donut. I threw it in the microwave for 10 seconds because I just think they taste better warm, but down the hatch. Ooh, they smell really good.
Oh my god. Those are the stuff. The stuff.
Oh my god.
Mm-mm.
I'm about to go on their website and order every flavor they make.
Y'all ain't ready for that.
Wow.
That's really good.
So they're amazing. This recipe, I think I said this already, but it comes from Wholesome Yum Blog, and I basically use her donut recipe and tweak the flavors. I've made them a million different ways. This is by far my favorite.
Yep. They're amazing.
They kind of taste like cake. Like if you threw a little bit of enlightened ice cream on top of it or something like that.
It's like a cheat meal without cheating. They're amazing.
Only about 3 carbs per donut.
Tear it up.
Maybe a little bit less, actually. So good. Wow.
They're that good. Like even I'm doing like the post
Got a
deliciousness
stain
dance.
on my sweatshirt, a sink full of dishes, but I still feel really happy.
And a dancing husband.
I've got a dancing husband, I've got a plate full of donuts, and we're about to munch on some awesome stroganoff meatballs. I hope you guys have the best night ever.
I wish I knew what song was playing in my head right now.
We're gonna watch Elf and, you know, do mom and dad stuff.
Yeah, like sleep.
Today was Ugly Christmas Sweater Day at the boys' school, so I'm going to insert a couple photos at the very end of this video so you can see how cute they looked. And I will see you guys tomorrow.
Today was also the day where Levi decided to wake up at 6:30 in the morning.
We're pretty tired. Kid life. All right, we love you guys. Have the best night ever, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.
Good night.